Last time, we brought both Emperor Barbarossa and the spirit of pacifism to Jerusalem. As Saladin was a player in that climactic scenario, he is inspired by our devotion to our nonviolent beliefs, and now it's his turn to embark on his own campaign. Can Saladin bring peace to the Holy Land without killing a single enemy unit? Our Saracen leader faces the toughest road yet. So far, scenarios have had specific objectives such as destroying a castle or escorting a trade cart, but Saladin is, on multiple occasions, tasked purely with defeating his opponents. Such endeavors will test our faith in our nonviolent ways, but what better way to reinforce our faith than with monks? We'll be channeling our inner Eddie throughout this campaign as we protect trade routes, revisit Jerusalem, and make a final stand at the city of Acre. Without further ado, let's join up with Saladin outside of Cairo and begin spreading pacifism among the Crusaders.
Saladin, where are you going with that great army?
Oh, now that's a good question, Egyptian Caliph. The objectives say to defeat the Franks on the western side of Cairo, but that's just a lie. The only victory condition is destroying the town center on the eastern side of the city. We start by using a few light cavalry to draw the attention of the enemy units while we walk our main force down the coast. The light cavalry always lead, ensuring the enemy units focus on them. When we reach the main camp, we run around and strike at buildings to attract as much attention as we can, in particular drawing out the units on the bridge. We then sacrifice the light cavalry to the western side of the map, while our main force crosses the bridge.
Lord Saladin, we have captured the Frankish war vessel.
Cairo decides that they want to be our enemy, but that's fine as we can draw their units out to open their gate. Then a simple right-click moves our units to the center of the city. Meanwhile, our slower men-at-arms take their time dismantling this Frankish blacksmith, giving us an armor upgrade. After reaching the center of the city, we convince Cairo of the benefits of pacifism, and they agree to be our friends again. We head out to the eastern side and simply use a few units to debate while our main force goes to take out the town center.
My lord, the Franks have been defeated!
With the town center destroyed, we've completed the mission with 0 kills. On to the next one.
Help us! Crusader bandits are everywhere!
We're on a timer for this scenario. Cyan produces from only 3 buildings, an archery range, a siege workshop, and a stable. If we let them reach the castle age, then their knights and mangonels will rip us to shreds. But without a town center, they can't advance to the castle age. So that's our goal. Destroy their TC as quickly as we can. Then they'll resign once we use monks to convert their villagers until they have fewer than 4. As we build up, we start using our light cavalry and camels to draw the enemy soldiers into our allies' towers and town center. Red has static units standing around the map, and they don't get replaced as they die. We focus on training archers and upgrading them to crossbowmen. These can be garrisoned in Aqaba's town center, giving us the firepower we need to clear our enemy units without them counting as our kills. It doesn't matter if our archers are the ones firing the arrows, as long as it looks like it's our ally. It's not cheating if we don't get caught. It's going to take too much time for us to create a siege workshop and take out the town center, so instead, we'll rely on the Saracen team bonus that gives the archer line bonus attack against buildings. We use a few knights to draw out the raiders and lure them away, while our crossbowmen move in for the pacifist kill. We take out the town center to deny the castle age, then go for the production buildings to stop the army. Now we just need to keep a close eye on the villagers, who will try to rebuild their base. Whenever we see a villager constructing a building, we attack them once. They're so inspired by our refusal to kill them, that they stop what they're doing and delete the building. Over time, we add in monks and work to convert the remaining villagers. Eventually, we convert enough of them that they are defeated. Now we can turn our attention to the pirates in the western corner of the map. Arg! We ignore the red player, as they resign automatically when the other 2 are both defeated. The most dangerous unit from the pirates are their onagers. Thankfully, their siege workshop is placed right next to a small hole in their woodline, so the onagers get stuck in place rather than attacking us. We'll build up a large force of monks and rams, then head in for a landing. With only 2 stables, they can't produce paladins quickly enough to pose a threat, and we level their base without much issue. We just need to be careful to keep track of the paladins and switch them to no attack stance immediately after we convert them. The pirates resign when they have no town center and fewer than 4 military units. I don't want to mess with those two menacing onagers, so we'll hunt down and convert the rest of their ships instead. Okay, that looks like it's just about everything. But why aren't they resigning? Oh, right! It's these two transport ships filled with units that I converted earlier. Sometimes the quickest way to teach someone about pacifism is by throwing them into the deep end and seeing if they swim.
I'll be back, Saracen dog.
Deleting the transports doesn't count as kills for the units that were in them, so that's a nice and tidy way to finish up this scenario. Ah, the Horns of Hattin, the classic example of where to use the relic teleport bug. While it definitely fits in with our pacifist theme, this bug has been fixed for years, so let's win the mission without it. Our objective is to obtain the relic and return it to our camp. We advance immediately to the castle age while moving our troops and some villages to the western side of the map. Our starting forces can attack a building and run around to draw the attention of the enemy army. We build a monastery here, so the monk needs only to walk in one direction, and immediately we train a monk and do the fervor upgrade so he moves faster. The monks standing guard can do naught but ignore us, as they have neither atonement to convert our monks nor redemption to convert our mangonel. We break a hole in the wall and abscond with our prize. Walking back to the tent in our camp, we complete the scenario.
We have captured the Europeans' precious relic. My heart weeps for the Crusader infidels.
A nice break after the previous mission. Getting 0 kills here is pretty simple. We return again to Jerusalem, having last visited with the sleeping Barbarossa. There are 5 towers scattered throughout the city, and our objective is to destroy all of them. Jerusalem also starts without any soldiers, so we can attack quickly before they train any units. We split our forces up, sending our melee cavalry to the south and the rest of our army to the north. There's a friendly villager here who graciously opens the gate for us, letting us into the city. We build a couple of siege workshops to make rams and use the market for some extra resources to produce even more rams. Then we send these siege engines to kill the towers, while using our other forces to help. In the south, yet another citizen of Jerusalem demonstrates their exceptional manners by holding the gate for us. Here, we raise a final tower with the rest of our army. The towers go down before Jerusalem even realizes what's happening.
All Jerusalem towers destroyed. The city is ours.
Another scenario that's very simple with the right strategy. As long as we get through the gates in time, we can take the towers down without facing any resistance. We'll start out this scenario with some speedrunning tricks. Ascalon lies due south of our starting position, and if left idle, they will attempt to construct a wonder. While they have a sizable army, they delete it and resign if their 3 villagers are killed and they don't have an active victory countdown. We'll start building up an economy as we recruit some monks and a few knights. Approaching the towers of Ascalon, we patrol 1 knight back and forth to draw their fire. Then we send a single villager to build a couple of tiles of stone walls on a small hill east of their base. These harmless walls prove irresistible to Ascalon, who marches their entire army out to destroy them. With the northern towers distracted, we slip in their gate and position our remaining knights to draw the fire of their inner towers. Our monks now have a clear path to convert the villagers. These conversions don't count as kills, and without the ability to construct a wonder, Ascalon calls the GG. Witness the beauty that is pacifism. There are 2 enemies left. Tyre resides on an island to our north and constructs an armada to harass us on the high seas. We're going to be relying on monks, so dealing with ships and reaching the island would be quite the challenge. Instead, we'll focus on land, where we can deal with Tiberius. Tiberius trains only a trickle of knights, camels, and rams. Once we amass a large enough number of monks, we can convert these units as they run to us only 2 or 3 at a time. The Tripoli guards eventually charge, but they too can be convinced of the ways of pacifism by our monks. It's a long slog of conversions, but we can add in some siege rams to clean up the remaining buildings. After being careful not to let a converted unit go on a killing spree, we can hunt down and convert all the villagers who try to run away.
نعم عامل منجم.
This mission is pretty simple with the trick to get rid of Ascalon early on. Dealing with Tiberius isn't difficult, although it can be a bit long and tedious while being careful not to kill any of their units. With this scenario finished, we have but 1 remaining. And oh boy, I'm sure you've been waiting for this one.
Soldiers heading for our walls! An Aoe2 warship sighted!
It's Richard the Lion-Hearted! He's attacking!
The Lion and the Demon. The culmination of Saladin's campaign. The final showdown between the Saracens and the Crusaders. Our objective: to build and defend a wonder. The city of Acre stands alone on a peninsula, besieged by 5 enemies both by land and by sea. It's one thing to fight off such an overwhelming force, but how can we do it without killing them? What hope could we possibly have? Fear not, though, for as great is the strength of our opponents, greater still is our commitment to pacifism. Our salvation lies across the waters, where a lone island sits in an endless sea. Safe from 4 of our 5 opponents, we can mine the gold, chop the trees, and build the wonder in the safety of this island paradise. Or at least we could, before those sneaky scenario designers decided they were going to put some rocks on this island to block our wonder placement. Well, I'm not going to let something as silly as foiling my plans end up foiling my plans. Oh no, we're going back to the original game. There we go. We delete these towers and castles so they don't kill anyone. Our starting forces can run around and distract the Frankish bombard cannons while we train a few galleons and monks. We lure the Genoese warships to the coast for our monks to convert them, then move in to kill their docks. Adding in a few cannon galleons lets us deal with the coastal towers, and now, whenever a dock pops up, we can snipe it down. But we can only hold off the other Crusaders for so long, and soon they'll be parading through Acre's streets. Let's collect enough resources to construct the wonder, and get out of here while the getting's good. We mine the gold to clear the island, then construct the wonder. As long as we're careful not to allow the Genoese to rebuild any of their docks, there's nothing that can attack the wonder. We leave the barren streets of Acre to the looting Crusader armies, who are left wondering what happened as our countdown expires. There we go. 0 kills in The Lion and the Demon, and it's not much of a problem. And that's it. The entire Saladin campaign completed with 0 kills. Using this island is definitely much easier than trying to fight off our opponents on the mainland. I mean, they have a Teuton ally to provide conversion resistance against our monks, and the Franks and Teutons also start with heresy research so their units die instead of being converted, and Richard has longbowmen to snipe off our monks from afar, and hero trebuchets that can't even be converted. How could we possibly defend the wonder from that? You'd have to be crazy even to try.
It does give the infidel dogs of the West a sight the likes of which no son of Europe has ever seen.
I'm doing it! Small disclaimer. I'll be playing through parts of the scenario on slow speed, and will issue orders while paused. I just want to see whether this madness actually is possible. We might think to fat slob up the passages and forestall our inevitable doom with multiple layers of fortified walls, but there's no way that could possibly work. The enemy just trains too much siege. Instead, we'll have to take the offensive. Richard the Lionhearted doesn't attack until 33 minutes and 20 seconds, so long as we don't start constructing the wonder. And the Genoese don't send their ships to attack us until 15 minutes, so we have a bit of time to be aggressive before the full might of the Crusaders' blows falls upon Acre's walls. We'll use our castles to make a couple of trebuchets before deleting them, then move our army to the east. The forces of Jerusalem are our first target. We cannot let them train light cavalry with the added conversion resistance of their Teuton ally. We start by taking out their stable as we move in to kill their towers with our siege. On the other side of Acre, we'll place down some singleton tiles of fortified walls to try and distract the other opponents. Sometimes they get stuck attacking these walls instead of attacking us. As we move against Jerusalem, we're followed by the Franks and the Knights Templar. The Franks are the more dangerous of these opponents, as their 13-range bombard cannons reach 1 tile further than even our monks can spread their pacifist gospel. We'll need to do a bit of dancing whenever they come to attack us. Eventually, we're able to take out Jerusalem, converting the last of their villagers with our monks, and this opens up the eastern portion of the map for us to expand to. We will need these resources, as the scarce supplies inside of Acre's walls quickly run out. We'll also sneak a transport ship of villagers over to the Gold Island to mine from there, where the Genoese don't harass them in favor of shooting out our fortified walls. Now we need to prepare for Richard. The big problem here are his hero trebuchets.
Those 2 English siege weapon monstrosities will tear our walls to flinders!
Since they're hero units, our monks can't convert them. They'll chase us across the map, and there's nothing we can do to stop them. In addition, Richard trains longbowmen, scorpions, and trebuchets. But once we convert his starting onagers and cavaliers, he won't replace them. And with only longbowmen and scorpions, Richard has nothing to stop a push of siege rams. So that's our plan. We plug up the entrance to our city with some walls, then use the Persian elephant reinforcements as living walls to stop Richard's hero trebuchets from getting through. The Franks and the Knights Templar continue attacking us as Richard launches his assault. The Genoese attack from the sea, and we're now fighting 4 opponents at once. We target Richard's onagers above all else, focusing on converting them. We whittle away at Richard's army and convert some of his key units, but alas, the combined assault from 4 opponents is too much, even for our monks. We're forced to abandon the city. Our opponents move in, gloating over the corpses, debris, and burning buildings. They rejoice, as their victory seems close at hand. But it's a trap! We wall them in as we charge our siege rams towards the heart of Richard's base. His towers, his castles, and his town center all crumble before our refusal to kill. Without any production buildings, all we have to do is convert Richard's units. He resigns when he has 0 villagers and fewer than 4 military units. That means the 2 hero trebuchets and 1 other unit. As we non-violently hunt down Richard's remaining forces, the other armies break free of the city and start chasing us down. We need to dance our monks around their bombard cannons while being careful to place all of the converted longbowmen on no attack stance. If we let Richard's villagers live, they'll attempt to rebuild his town center and siege workshop after many, many conversions. Finally, a deleted longbowman spotted in the remnants of Acre's streets. At last, Richard resigns. He doesn't delete his hero trebuchets, but at least he stops moving them around. The Genoese don't make any land units, so now it's just us, the Franks, and the Knights Templar. There's a big problem though. The map is now running out of gold. Even with the Saracen market, we can't train monks forever, so we'll need to finish this fight. That's right, it's time to construct the Wonder. We wall off the right side of the map, build as many monasteries as we can to produce monks, and start constructing our Wonder. The Franks send in their cannons, the Templars send in their rams, but they cannot overcome our monks. For 300 years, we hold behind these walls, and for 300 years, these walls refuse to fall. Until eventually, the Wonder Timer finishes its countdown. Zero kills, and it only took 584 conversions. Oh boy, that one was quite the challenge. I don't know how possible that is without all of the saves and pauses, but oh boy, at least it is possible. So there we go. There's a few fun speedrun missions, and otherwise, Saladin can rely on monks to complete his campaign without killing enemy units. The Lion and the Demon, though, is quite the challenge to beat as a pacifist. Indeed, it doesn't quite seem to be feasible without taking advantage of lots of pauses and slow speed, but maybe there is a to-be-discovered strategy for taking out Richard early on that would make it easier. Anyway, that's it for Saladin. We'll have more campaigns upcoming soon. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.